What's up, She Sells girlies? In today's episode, we explore whether you need to be extroverted in order to be successful in remote sales. We look at the pros and cons, introverts, extroverts, catroverts, dogtroverts, whatever. You're really going to love this episode. I'll see you inside.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the next episode. I believe this is episode 6.
Oh, gosh. We're doing well.
Yeah, I know. I'm just super excited to have everyone here. I'm super excited to just be in front of everyone speaking to a lot of people. Said me never.
I was like,
Okay.
Where?
Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. So this episode, right, as Brooke just said, in the intro, is all about extroverts and introverts. So I just wanted to start off this episode by saying I am quite possibly the biggest introvert, and Brooke is literally the complete opposite, complete extrovert. Now, yin and yang, whatever you call it, right? Which one's the good one?
The extrovert.
Is it yin or yang? Which one's that? Which one's like the... I don't even know how that whole thing works. But anyway, right, yin and yang, that's literally us. Now, here's the thing. We've both had very successful sales careers, okay? So I think this is like a really good dynamic, right? Because it'd be very different if both of us were extroverts. But yeah, I'm very much introvert and you're very much an extrovert. So I think the most important thing, right, is to actually speak about what that means. So what's your take on it?
Well, for me, I get my energy, like when I have my cup filled or I'm recharged, I'm around people. So if we do like a group dinner or there's a birthday or Christmas, literally any event that there's people there, I leave that event feeling so recharged. Like the other night, for instance, I caught up with one of our She Sells students, Lou. Hello, Lou. And our head coach, Tash. We all went out for dinner in Bali. That's the life that you can live when you're a remote closer. Everyone comes to you. And I left dinner literally wired. Like I came home and I was so hoping that Scott would still be awake because I was like, I just want to talk to someone about like what we were talking about. Like you never have conversations like that. And so I literally didn't sleep all night because I was just so recharged from that conversation. So yeah, that's my take of, being an introvert. I'm the least.
You're quite literally the biggest extrovert that I like. I think you are like the like pinnacle of like how extroverted someone can be. I love the way that you say, I hope Scott was awake, but in reality, you walk in with the flash on your phone and it starts shining in my eyes. Like, oh, sorry, honey. Anyway, I was almost asleep.
He wasn't.
So
he was literally like lying there with his eyes doing these ones, pretending to be asleep. So he might got a little pat from me.
Right, now, so yeah, that's a good take on it. So there's a really good book. I can't remember who it's written by. Some lady. She did a very good job. It's called Quiet. So if you want to learn more about this stuff, that's a really good book, really good resource. But the way that she explains it is like there's introverts and extroverts, and it's thought that like extroverts just talk a lot. And they're the life of the party. And introverts are like, like putting it nicely, like people that like just nerds that like sit in a closet and just don't want to like speak to people.
Is that wrong?
Which, hey?
Is that wrong?
There's no wrong. Like there's nothing wrong.
Is that wrong?
But that's what it is. I always thought like the introvert was like the weird, like just person that doesn't speak. But it's actually not. It's actually like, and the way that she explains it, right, it is where you get your energy from. Now, the thing that lets me know that I'm an introvert, because is the way that she explains it really well. It's like you can be an introvert with extrovert abilities. So it's like you can kind of call on. It's almost like being a fake extrovert, so to speak.
Well, you're an introverted extrovert.
Yeah, so like I can call on it very well, but when I do that, and certain situations make me do it. Sales can slightly be one, but also like if we'd go out anywhere, whatever it is, it's like I can do the extrovert thing, but it cooks me. Like I'm cooked. Like I'm like, whew, I need like a day of just like me time or like just us time or whatever to basically just like recoup.
Do you remember for my mum's 60th when we went down south?
I do remember.
And I would say my sister's quite introverted.
Yeah.
My mum is maybe as well. But like when we're all together, we're just so loud and everyone's around each other. And like my family is very touchy-feely too. And so it's my mum's 60th and we're down south and like everyone's having the best time. And then there's Scott in a dark room just being by himself. And what we've found...
Quite literally exactly what I explained just before. I went and sat in the closet.
Yeah, he did basically. Though. It was like it had to be a dark room. And where I've found it really challenging to understand is because like to me, I'm like, why are you mad at us? Like, why are you isolating yourself? And it wasn't until I educated myself, well, that's not actually what he was doing. He was recharging so that he could then come out and be himself. And so we've kind of like, that's been challenging for us because when when you need a moment to yourself to recharge and I'm kind of like, what's wrong? Like, give me attention. You're just like, bro.
Yeah. And that's the best way to like piss someone off as well. Just in case you haven't learned this yet. If you really want to piss someone off, ask them why they're mad. Because if
and
they
then tell them they're in a bad mood.
Yeah. But anyway, tying this back, right, is like, I do not believe that you need to be an extrovert to be good at sales. Okay. Now, I definitely believe that there are pros and cons to both. And I believe that if you're an introvert, if you're like very, heavily in the introvert camp, like I was, like, okay, here's the thing, right? I would not have been pulled into sales if I didn't see the potential of it, because it was not a naturally comfortable thing for me to do, which was go and talk to people. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I pushed through that initially, because I knew the upside of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas for you, it's like you would basically just like want to talk to people like as much as you possibly could.
Literally.
Like even if you weren't getting paid for it, you'd want to go and just jump on calls with strangers, right? So the I guess like the pros first of being an extrovert. Let's go into those. I think the biggest pro from being an extrovert is that...
Well, let me talk about that because you're not an extrovert. I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you cover the extrovert. Go.
I feel like the biggest pro to being an extrovert is confidence comes really, it's natural. You have this confidence about you that you're okay to talk to anybody and you actually sound very well-spoken, lots of conviction. That would be my first pro of being an extrovert, is just being you're familiar with being around people and talking to people.
Yeah, and I would say another massive pro for extroverts, from what I've seen now working with lots of sales teams and managing people, like a back-end activity for extroverts, like so much easier. Like doing your follow-up, like just reaching out to people for like whatever it is, upsells, anything like that. It's like they just want to speak to people more and they want to be in front of people. Yeah. So like they're more inclined to just do the back-end activity.
Yeah. Like for instance, let's say you make a sale and then the next day that person wants to cancel. I feel like as an extrovert, I'm okay to have that conversation. I'm literally like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll like get on the phone and have a really great conversation with them about it. Whereas like someone who is slightly more introverted, and I mean, I can't speak into this though, because I'm not introverted. So I don't really understand. Like, I mean, I understand, but I don't like, I don't really... You have more insight into it.
Yeah, 100%. I think even just like things like
charisma.
Yeah, and like even like referrals, right? Like if you have a client that's like, hey, like I've got a bunch of friends that want to sign up, be like, hell yeah, like put me in a room with all of them.
Well,
right?
Yeah, because extroverts are good at like bringing people together, right? Yeah. So I feel like the hustle around like just referrals, like training people up, just getting some momentum is so like I feel like I can build momentum really, really, really well within communities, within teams. Yeah. And I think that's just because of how extroverted I am.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will say, which may be a little bit controversial, I do think introverts can sell very well. Absolutely. Like I think anyone can sell. Catroverted, dogtroverted, it's in one of my ads. Like seriously, I don't like anyone can sell if you learn the skill set. However, I feel like there's different entry points to sales. For me, being an extrovert is hugely why I was so successful and I had a fast ascension. I truly, truly, truly believe that. Now, not to say that if I was introverted, I wouldn't have had the same, but maybe like if we look at your intro into sales, it was quite different.
Yeah, my intro to sales was very different. It wasn't necessarily the fact that there was anything being an introvert that was the reason why it wasn't so fast. It was more just the circumstances, right? But like in terms of, so let's go into the positives of introverts,
Okay.
right? So the thing that boded very well for me, and this is like one thing that you really got to learn in sales, which is like sales is literally just about listening. That's all it is. It's like listen and then speak, right? So being naturally not necessarily wanting to speak and be the spotlight on me, right? Like that boded very well when I heard that sales was that. I was like, okay, sweet. I thought sales was literally me like, running around in front of people being like, hey, like this is my thing, like blah, blah, blah. And then the moment that I realized it wasn't, I was like, wicked. The other thing that really helped me was like, and maybe this is just a me thing. I don't know if it's like just an introvert thing in general, but like I geek out a lot with stuff, right? Like I put a lot of my focus into things. And that boded really well because now sales became the next thing for me to like almost obsess about. So I got like really, really good, really, really quick, just because like, I got kind of obsessed with it, right? Which, from what I believe, anyone that's otherwise, correct me if I'm wrong. Introverts, we generally like go into things much more like with more technicality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely will attest to the listening thing. Yeah, and even like. You'd be in a conversation and you can kind of tell the people who aren't really listening and they just want to speak again. As much as this hurts me to say, like that was me. Like I love being center stage, like whatever. I'm all in my glory here. Come on. I do love being center stage. I like the spotlight on me.
I think everyone knows that by now. So it's all good. It's not like the secret's not out. It's been out for a while.
Jeez. Yeah. Even sometimes when we're talking, I'm like, I'm just dying to say my next thing. And so in sales, yes, I've got charisma. Yes, I'm confident. Yes, I have conviction. But something that I've had to work really, really, really hard on is just shutting the fuck up sometimes. Excuse me, but like it's true. Because I just want to keep talking. I want to be like, why can't you see? This is the best thing ever. Like, that's not weird to me to say that because that is literally the person that I am. That's like true authenticity for me is to be able to sell like that. Like, wake up. Like, this is so amazing. Like, why can you not see it? Honestly, if it was up to me, that is how I would sell.
Yeah, and see, like that's the complete opposite for me. Like if I was to do that or like even try to do that on a sales call, that would come off so weird and awkward.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, and this is for all the introverts out there that are like, if there's any introverts like sitting on the fence, like, oh, I can't do that. It's like, you don't actually have to. And like, if you do what Brooke just said, then that can go really,
do not
really,
do that.
really badly.
Yeah.
But there might be a time and a place to like kind of, put some sauce on it. But generally, no, like that's, we do not want to do that in sales because it has the opposite effect. Okay. So moral of the story and my take on this, and I'll let Brooke give her take on it, is you do not have to be an extrovert. And if you are an introvert, but you see the potential, right, in the opportunity, you see the potential in, the career, everything, and you really like want to get something that you can like focus on and learn and kind of become obsessed about, like this is going to be one of the best avenues because there's no end to it. Like you can never just master like persuasion. It's just not a thing. So.
Yeah. And stop feeding into the belief like I'm an introvert, so I can't, or I'm an extrovert, so I must be able, like I must be good at sales. Everyone says I'm good at sales. It's like that those belief systems, they're not serving you. They're literally not. So it's something to be mindful of. Just be the best. That's what you need to do. Just want to be the best and do what it takes to get there.
Yeah. And if you are an introvert, you maybe dip your feet like I have to do every now and again. Dip your feet in some extrovert water.
I was just demoing dipping.
Yeah. And if you're an extrovert, try and dip your feet in some introvert water. Although like Brooke, you're probably going to be...
It's freezing cold, guys. Don't do that.
Alrighty, guys. So hopefully this helped at least one introvert that's listening to this that's sitting on the fence.
We love introverts. They're seriously the best listeners. And actually, one thing, before we wrap up, I feel like introverts, like they hold space for people so well. They really do. They hold space for people, and you'll probably find if you are introverted that people they open up to you without you having to try too hard.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of going into a whole other thing. We will wrap up at some point. That's another really good one, right? Because like teaching people from what I've seen from actually training people, teaching people to like just slow down and listen is really, really hard. But getting an introvert to kind of ramp up a little bit and like just have a bit more energy and like a little bit more quicker on the feet is easier. So that's something to take into account as well.
Yeah.
And like there's more benefit to actually slowing down and being able to listen and understand than there is of just having super high energy and just trying to like be like, ah. Yeah. So in some cases, guys, it can actually work in your favor. So we'll end it there. Amazing. All right, guys.
Awesome.
Take care.
Be great, guys. Bye.
Bye.